I'm getting to the point where I'm very confused by Wells's career as a whole. So you've got Citizen Kane, and it's it's not a hit when it comes out, but it's been reassessed mostly because of play on television in the 50s and 60s. We'd be like, wow, this actually was great. I can see it, and it's great. You like Touch of Evil a lot. I think that movie's all right. I thought F for Fake was very cool, but it's a documentary. I think it's mostly cool in that it's a documentary where the filmmaker decides that he's more important than the subjects at various times throughout the movie. And then I know you don't like The Other Side of the Wind, the recreated movie that came out, after he died. So why do you think Welles is so revered if so many of his movies are just like hacked up things that weren't really his vision?
Well, I mean, there is Citizen Kane. I mean, that thing is, that's the legend. I think that really keeps, or that's the movie that really keeps his legend going. But I think Touch of Evil is more liked than you like it. I mean, I think that one's a little more highly regarded. But then there's Lady from Shanghai. For whatever reason, Magnificent Ambersons is really well regarded too. And I think the mystique behind that movie too really keeps it going. I mean, there's no denying that Welles was just an extraordinarily talented guy. And I think the studio meddling in a lot of these things is also kind of what perpetuates that. Like if we were to compare it to wrestling, a lot of people have this notion, a lot of like WWE fans had this notion that like Dolph Ziggler is this like extremely underused talent, and that's only because they had the notion that he was like being held back or something. Right. Dolph Ziggler's not this underused talent, but like anytime someone, there's the perception that someone's being like held back or meddled with, that can kind of get people to, rally behind them. And that's certainly the case with Orson Welles. Like, I mean, the studio meddled with everything, almost everything he ever did. Even Citizen Kane was meddled. William Randolph Hearst tried to get that thing from not being released. So anytime there's, kind of outside forces trying to hold somebody down, I think there's going to be some rallying around that person. And I think that's definitely the case with Welles, who also, but like I said, just an extraordinary talent. I mean, you can see that just in his acting, even in the bad things that he's in. You can see he's got this, he's got gifts that a lot of filmmakers didn't have, especially at the young age that he had. So I think that's has a lot of what to do with it. But yeah, you can look at his overall filmography and you can see that, yeah, it just didn't measure up to, what his, I think, talent ultimately could have and should have.
Fair enough. I just think about someone like Charles Laughton, who only directed one movie, and it's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, Night of the Hunter. And, so no stinkers, no studio meddling, batting average 1,000. But then he was also an incredible actor on top of that. Like Witness for the Prosecution is one of the cool, and his performance in it is one of the coolest things you'll ever see. He's incredible in Spartacus. There's nothing to knock him, but we don't talk about him that way because he only directed the one movie and then was an actor besides that. But if truly Welles is only thought of as great as he is because of Citizen Kane, and I guess to a lesser extent, Touch of Evil and The Lady from Shanghai, I think we need to be boosting Charles Laughton a lot more. I also just like Charles Laughton as an individual a lot more. He just seems like an interesting character.
Hey, Mutiny from the Bounty, I think we'll cover that. Yeah. Or Mutiny on the Bounty, we'll cover that. I think that's my choice for you when we get to that year. So we'll get to talk about Charles Laughton some more.
All right, sick.